Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, kids. Welcome back to the 69th episode of Marvel Tales. And you're saying, where the hell is Lilith? Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me, as always, oh God, I love it, Owl Machine himself.
That's right. Justin the Owl shedding the armor and putting on some new duds.
That's right, because we're going to be covering Iron Man 281 through 284, the first appearance of the War Machine armor before
That's
James
right.
Rhodes even, well, puts it on at the end. But again, someone else has to, of course, somebody else has to wear it first. But yeah, one of our favorite eras, some Len Kaminsky. Yeah.
And I love this artwork from Kevin Hobgood, too.
Yes. But, yeah, I was just recording the Green Lantern podcast with Will. We were talking about some sad news because, I mean, this gentleman worked for both DC and Marvel. MD Bright, Mark Bright.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very sad about that. I loved his work. Yeah, and he did a ton of Green Lantern stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, especially in the 90s. Yeah.
Damn, what a loss. Yeah, he was great.
But yeah,
I loved my favorite things that he did were the Captain Marvel one shots, the Monica Rambeau ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely loved those. Both of those were gold.
Because
Yeah.
I keep like kind of thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I know. Like, what else did he do? And the list just keeps growing. It's like, that one too. Yeah, he's another one of.
Yeah, he's a massive resume. Yeah, he'll be greatly missed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a lot. Yeah, he did a lot of Iron Man too, didn't he? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Well, again, I think he did it again. He did a lot of characters at Marvel and DC. I remember him. He did like a fill-in on a Batman issue too, and it's.
Oh yeah.
Batman, my favorite character.
But yeah, so he's another one. I think it's like name a character, and I think he's probably drawn it
for both DC and Marvel.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
But we're getting old. All our heroes, all our creatives are passing.
I know. Yep. Yeah. They've left us a hell of a legacy, though. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, big legacy for these new guys to fill those shoes.
Definitely.
All right. All right. Should we jump into these?
Yes.
All right.
Continuing Phil's birthday bash month.
That's right. The final week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe it's over already. We even did an extra episode and everything. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. I've been trying to get back into this habit. I want to share the covers while doing this.
Oh, right.
Here. Yeah. Keep forgetting to do that. All right. So, yeah, we're going to start with, there we go, Iron Man 281 from cover date June 1992. And you see their name on the cover, The Masters of Silence. Writer Len Kaminsky, penciler Kevin Hopgood, inker Bob Wycheck, colorist Mike Rockwitz, letterer Michael Hessler, and editor Nelson Yomtov. When a nuclear reactor melts down in Japan, the company sends a trio of assassins to take revenge on the maker of the faulty parts that caused the meltdown, Tony Stark. Tony is still close to death and battles the Masters of Silence by remotely controlling his Iron Man armor. Feeling that this is not going to be effective, Tony creates a new suit of armor to battle his foes. I wonder which one that is.
We see it on the very last page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, what did you think, Justin?
I loved this. I remember, because I was collecting Iron Man pretty regularly at the time, but I did miss a bunch before this. If I recall right, John Byrne was writing it for a couple of years. First it was John Romita Jr. doing the pencils, doing the artwork. And then it was Paul Ryan who came on to do the artwork after that, if I remember right.
Yeah, because it wasn't Byrne there for like, was it Armor Wars 2, I think?
Armor Wars 2, yeah. And that was with John Romita Jr., yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, Paul Ryan came on, and if I remember right, he was on the book for like a while, like all through the Operation Galactic Storm stuff, and there was that fantastic story with the Mandarin called the Dragon Seed saga that had Fin Fang Foom in it, which was tremendously good. But there were a couple of issues that I missed, like there was a 2-part story with the Black Widow that I missed, and some other ones. So when this came around, if I remember right, this is the debut of the new creative team.
I think so. Yeah. I was gonna say it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think it was last issue. It might. Yeah, it might be this issue. Yeah,
it might be this one. So it felt like kind of a new start, like a new era was about to beginning. It had that feel to it, and I loved it. I thought that it was a great feeling for Iron Man. It felt a lot like Tony Stark. Like it felt like a really good modern of the time Tony Stark Iron Man story. Yeah.
And I think we should explain too, for those who don't know. I mean, we say Tony Stark is close to death. I mean, this goes back like, God, what, 40 issues or so? I mean, first of all, he was shot by his stalker, Kathy Dare, and then Tony's paralyzed, but then he gets like a microchip put in his spine that helps him walk again. But it's a plot by the Mars brothers. They control him through the armor and stuff, and we eventually get around that. But then eventually Tony Stark starts dying. Health just gets worse and worse. Yeah,
and his body. At this point, when this issue starts, he has to permanently have this kind of like a cybernetic mesh suit on.
Yeah,
which I guess makes it so that he can walk, but also keeps like the gradual degradation of his body in check or something.
Yeah, because of the like you were talking about the Mandarin stuff. Like if that wasn't bad enough, then he went into space and for Galactic Storm, and I think they even said that space armor used way more power and put way more strain on his body, and then I think there was a one shot between that and this issue where he gets pulled into the future, by the Stark, that an alien race.
Oh, yes.
Who they find
Stark
technology and they like worship Tony Stark as like a deity and stuff. Yeah.
Who we first saw in the Guardians of the Galaxy series from the 90s. Yeah. Yeah. That poor Tony went through a lot before this. He really got put through the ringer. So it makes sense that the onset of this story, he's in really rough condition and is starting to realize, damn, I might not have that much time left.
Yeah.
I should figure out a B or C or D plan here. Yeah.
I think the end of the last issue was like he comes back from the future, basically like collapses on the floor while he's still in his armor. Yeah, and then this one opens him having a nightmare and waking up in a hospital bed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought the Masters of Silence were really cool.
Oh yeah,
they looked neat. They had a really cool aesthetic, but they're also really neat characters, very mysterious, but also kind of a foe that we hadn't really seen for Iron Man in a while. He had fought the Mandarin for a while, and he fought a whole bunch of dragons during that Dragon Seed thing. But we hadn't really seen him fight any other armored nemesis in a while.
Yeah.
Like, so it's cool to get back to that. Yeah,
because these guys are like kind of high tech ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. And again, this new the new artist Kevin Hobgood was great. I thought he was a nice, because his pencils are very different from Paul Ryan's, who came before him. I mean, that's obvious. But he still draws a terrific Iron Man and Tony Stark and all the other characters as well. Yeah.
And then the secret conspiracy, back then, this might have sounded a little far fetched. These days, it sounded that far fetched because you got like guys from like Roxxon and this Moribashi International sitting in their same room with like a delegate from Hydra.
Yeah. Yeah.
These days, that's not so far fetched.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. a secret council, yeah,
Yes.
of all these nefarious organizations.
We kind of see Tony making all these like plans for the future,
Yeah, with Rhodey. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is before Jim and Tony have a very nasty falling out.
The whole point is Tony's death, because when it comes back, he realizes he's like, Tony, manipulated me, and
Yeah,
that's where the whole thing, that fight comes from. It's just,
yes,
he didn't tell me that what he had planned.
yeah, and he really successfully argues, in my opinion, that Jim should have been the one person that he trusted enough with that secret to tell him.
I know,
I'm going to fake my death. I have to do it because of these reasons. Like, I hope you'll understand. But I want you to know. I want you to be the one person that knows that I'm really alive. I'm just going to be in. I'm just going to pull a Walt Disney, and and in the meantime, I want you to continue to be Iron Man and blah blah blah.
Yeah, as I was going to say, I mean, you're trusting him to be Iron Man. It's like, you think you could trust him with your,
And it's not like he hasn't done it before. I mean, he was Iron Man before, and he did a great job of that. He was fantastic as Iron Man before.
Oh, yeah.
And if it hadn't been for that whole mess that happened in outer space, maybe he still would have been Iron Man.
Oh, but yeah.
When there was that whole re-entry thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't understand Tony's justification of excluding Jim of all people from that secret and just telling him, there's going to be a whole media thing. I'm just going to fake my death, and we're just going to do that.
Well, once again, yeah, Tony Stark thinks he has to do it all himself, and again, Jim's always there to say, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah. I'd love this since when I first read it, when it first came out, just the remote control Iron Man armor and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we'll see again appear later on in this series.
Oh yeah. After he comes back, Tony's like in no shape to pretty much move, so he basically has to use this telepresence again to drive new armor.
And I liked that armor a lot.
Yeah.
That remote control one. I thought that was snappy.
Oh yeah, especially the one he builds when he comes back. Oh yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, we got to cover some of that.
Yeah, but
that is funny. He's battling the Masters of Silence. He's shooting Repulsar, so you see him in his hospital bed going, "It's all working."
And he can feel everything that's happening to the armor through the neural link.
I know. I'm like, shouldn't he have felt some pain when they chopped the head off that Iron Man armor?
Yeah, you'd think. Yeah.
I mean, unless he cut the connection.
He must have like a fast off switch.
And I love he's just like, okay, that didn't work. So he just tries blowing up the armor.
Yeah. And I remember that was a big deal reading that for the first time, because I remember, I'm of the vintage, and I think that you are too, of remembering when this armor first appeared.
Oh yeah,
at the end of Armor Wars.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, after he had gotten the crap kicked out of him by Firepower.
Mm-hmm.
Then he comes back in this brand new armor, which we see absolutely destroyed and shredded here.
Yeah, because that is a good point, Justin. Because it's like back in this era, he really wasn't changing armor every 2 seconds. I mean, nowadays he changes more than he changes underwear. But it's back then, I mean, you'd have an armor for like 50, 60 or more issues. Wouldn't change it up.
Yeah, and this was what, 92? This issue, I think. Yeah, and I think the armor had appeared first in 88.
Something like that, yeah. Because
if I remember right,
when did Armor Wars end? It was like what, early 230s or something. It was like 231 or
I feel like it was 80.
Yeah,
so he had this armor for a good 3 or 4 years at least.
Yeah, probably like 4. I guess that's close to like 50 issues. Yeah. But he gets out of the hospital. Him and Rhodey get out of the hospital, and then he slaps on that neuro booster thing. Yeah, basically gets him up and around, but it's basically time off his life.
Yeah, every time he uses it, it's not good for the long-term outlook.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, at the end, yes, the first ever appearance, of the War Machine
I
armor.
love that.
Yeah.
What did you think the first time you saw that?
I was like, it's like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm like, what is that? Wait, is this 92? Okay, so I was like 14. I was like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably what I thought too. I liked that they went back to the gray.
Yeah.
Because we only saw that once, and that was the very first prototypical armor. It was the gray. And he never went back to that. The silver, what we saw with the silver Centurion armor. So it was cool to see that again.
Mm-hmm.
But combined with the gunmetal gray look, I thought that looked really great.
Mm-hmm. And again, is that supposed to be because it's like the first early prototype that there's no like unibeam in the middle of the chest or anything, or
Oh, maybe, yeah. Even though they would add one later.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the time Jim gets the armor,
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, is this thing going to change color because this is like the first prototype? But no, they kept this color scheme. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it still looks good to this day, I think. Yeah.
I love that last page. Yeah, Tony's like, this time they're not going to be fighting an empty suit of armor. This time they're fighting Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah. So good.
All right. So, any other thoughts on this one?
No, I think we can move on to the real introduction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
About to introduce it to the Masters of Silence
in a big way.
All right, there we go. There's that cover. All right, so Iron Man number 282. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That might be my favorite cover out of all.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these are good, but especially 282 and 283. Oh my god.
Yeah, this one is probably my favorite. I just love it. It's so striking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to make a poster out of that.
Yeah.
Make like a blacklight poster. That's what me and
Yeah.
we need like blacklight posters and stuff, and
a glow in the dark one. Yeah.
That's what we were saying this morning. We need more gimmick covers again, like glow in the dark, foil. Yes.
Foil, embossed, holographic. Yeah, I agree.
All right, Iron Man 282, July 1992. I don't know if there's a title for this. It's not giving it to me. All right. Lenka, same team. Iron Man tricks the Masters of Silence into entering his simulator room where he disorients them in battle with holographic tricks. Meanwhile, Rhodey contacts S.H.I.E.L.D. to find out who framed Tony for the meltdown at the plant. When he presents the evidence linking Stain International and Justin Hammer to the event, the Masters withdraw from battle. Ashamed of themselves, they offer their services to Stark to reclaim their lost honor. Iron Man, Rhodey, and the Masters all prepare for an assault on Justin Hammer. Oh yeah, in this issue, Tony Stark quotes extensively from a poem by Dylan Thomas, "Do not go gently into that good night."
Yes.
Particularly the section "Rage, rage at the dying of the light," obviously a reference to Stark's severe health problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, I miss that too. Back in the day when we had like writers who threw in these literary references.
Yeah, I love that too.
That's where we learned our literature, kids, on the streets and comics.
That's right. Well, I remember a lot of comics would sometimes start and end with a classic quote. For a while, the Spectre, one of my all-time favorite comics, the Spectre in the 90s had quotes in I think every issue.
Oh, I don't want to be a broken record.
2099 did.
D.G. Chichester, I know he would throw in some quotes in the beginning of some Daredevil issues and stuff.
Yes, Daredevil definitely had a ton. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love this opening scene when he tricks them into the simulator because they think they're killing Tony Stark, but it's an LMD.
Yeah. He just rips that trident right out of the LMD's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, they can go invisible, but then he has all kinds of sensors and stuff in that suit. So,
yeah, I remember the first time I read this issue being really impressed with the coloring of how they rendered them when they turned invisible, because this, like 92, this was when they were first starting to use some of that computer generated coloring technology. And so in scenes like that, you can kind of see where they were like getting acquainted with that new stuff. It looks really good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They did a good job with that.
But yeah, I don't think they even play this up as much. Once Rhodey got that armor, because I mean, Tony's got stuff in those gloves. Like there's a flamethrower, and then is that like a laser blade or something? It almost looks like a side blade. It looks like Psylocke blade almost.
Yeah, it's like some type of weird plasma blade, and the cannons on the shoulder and stuff like that. The rocket launcher,
and then I guess like that laser sight almost on the helmet, because when the master's like, your master's death is assured as in yours, and he starts aiming at him and starts opening fire. He's like, not likely. I'm already dead.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
Oh yeah, this is when Rhodey gets his promotion too. We'll see handy later, but yeah, he's because he tells him to call SHIELD, and he's like, they're not going to tell anything to your pilot. He's like, oh well. That's why I'm vice president in charge of operations, effective immediately.
Yeah, pretty big promotion.
Can't
I love that part too, where he distracts them with the hologram, and he says, "I'm going to have to give the whole imaging department a raise."
Oh yeah, I got like a giant walker.
Yeah. I love that. It's like a fight taking place on the holodeck of Star Trek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just it's a splash page, but you could tell just the scale from how small Iron Man and the Masters are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then Rhodey giving Nick Fury guff.
Yeah, and Nick Fury actually respects that. He's like, if you ever want a job with SHIELD, you know who to ask.
Yeah, I read that this time, and I was like, that's the what if we need. Jim Rhodes, agent of SHIELD.
Yes. Yeah.
Either with the armor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With the armor too.
Yeah.
And they could do like that weird experimental alien armor stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'd make a great what if.
Iron Man, 3 of you, 1 of me, and I've still got you outnumbered.
It's true. They didn't do a whole lot of damage against this new armor.
And then when he gets him in the dark, he's almost doing like ninja moves.
Yeah. We don't get to see that really, do we? With Iron Man. And then I love that whole sequence. It was so well done.
Then Rhodey comes in all big and holographic and is like, proves to the Masters, Tony Stark's been framed.
Yeah.
I love it. Looks like I owe you another one, Jim. Never mind. What's this new job pay anyway?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when we kind of reveal. Yeah, it's Justin Hammer who bought Stain International, which used to be the old Stark International. Yeah.
Big surprise, right?
Tony, all I've got left now is my honor, and they're even trying to take that away from me. If I must die, so be it, but I refuse to leave this as my legacy. So yeah, that's when the Masters kind of offer their services and their
pledge their loyalty to Stark for this adventure anyway.
Yeah. Then you see Tony suiting up and Rhodey. Well, business isn't worth your life. This isn't business. This is personal.
This is personal. It's very 90s. This whole story is very like early.
Oh yeah.
90s. This could have been a Van Damme movie.
Oh yeah. Didn't they say if they would have done Iron Man in the 90s, it would have been like Tom Cruise?
Oh, really?
That's where yeah, if they would have done it earlier, it would have been Tom Cruise.
Oh, could you imagine? I'm so glad that didn't happen.
I know. Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. did such a great job.
I can't imagine anybody else at this point.
So, yeah, this one really ends almost like the last one did, and very 90s because not only is it just Iron Man, now you got the Masters Asylum.
Yes.
Now you got Jim posing with a gun in the back.
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't you guys in your own headquarters? Why do you got your gun pulled like that?
Because they're posing for a picture, damn it.
I mean, if you should have his weapon or reloading it, I get that. But yeah.
Yeah. Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's extreme. That's why. In a nutshell, it's extreme.
Or as I like to say, well, as someone likes to say,
we're going back to the 90s here.
Exactly.
I think that page, more than any other we've covered in 69 episodes, personifies the 90s more than anything.
I think you're right.
90s here, bitch.
I think you're right.
That should have been Marvel Tales. You know, we're like, okay, we're just gonna cover stuff from 1990 to 1999.
Oh,
what's the name of the show?
We're going back to the 90s here, bitch.
What's that show called? Yeah, go back to the 90s, bitch. Episode
1. We're actually going over the good 90s stuff.
Yeah.
The 90s gets a lot of stick. It gets a lot of stick for being a bunch of crap,
but again, it's
as we have discovered, there are
but it's like
so many gems.
Look how much material was pulled for the 90s, though. I mean, you know, like the MCU's already pulled all the Infinity stuff from there. I mean, X-Men 97's big right now. I mean, come on,
it's huge. Yeah.
And in the comics, they're doing a lot of 90s stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Which I'm all about. Keep it coming, I say.
Exactly. All right. Should we get to the next one?
Yes, the big showdown.
Yes. We get put the cover up. Pardon me, internet, while I get it up.
Oh my.
Oh my. There it is. All right, kids. Iron Man number 283 in your face.
Another great cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
From August 1992. Put the hammer down. Same team. Oh no, maybe not. Colorist Paul Becton this time. Yes.
No, different colorist. Okay.
Yeah. Rhodey flies Iron Man and the Masters of Silence to Justin Hammer's island, and they begin their assault, fighting off Hammer's guards and his Hydra allies. Hammer unleashes agents wearing Mandroid armor, but Iron Man quickly dismantles them. Iron Man and the Masters finally corner Hammer and demand that he publicly exonerates Stark for the meltdown, provide a Arcane Fusion Zero interest refinancing to make amends for the damage he caused, and sell Stain International back to Tony Stark for $1.
$1.
Warned that if he ever gives Stark reason to notice him again, he will answer to the Masters. Hammer agrees and Tony returns home. Tony returns to his hospital bed where Dr. Sondheim tells him that he has accelerated his deterioration. He checks with Zimmer on a biotech solution he had been looking into and is told at best it might be feasible to look at in 8 weeks' time, time that he doesn't have. After contacting his cryogenics people and telling them to prepare a briefing statement on Project 101, Tony calls his lawyer, Felix Alvarez, and Mrs. Arbogast to arrange meetings as he prepares to get his affairs in order. And elsewhere, the group of business rivals who had previously met with Hammer to arrange the attack on Stark agree that the operation has been a success. Hammer has been eliminated as a business threat, as they anticipated, and they merely need to wait for Stark to follow. So.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if we ever got back to that group. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think that continued as a subplot for a while.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually it was, I can't remember what.
Maybe happened. On the other side of 300, maybe. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. I felt like it did get a resolution, though.
And I feel like Teen Iron Man was trying to take care of some group towards the end of his run. So.
Oh.
I forget.
Maybe they returned for that whole mess.
I know they were trying to scrub, the Stark servers or something. I forget. But
you never know what you're going to find on those Stark servers.
It was a big deal around issue 200, but these days, again, just like the changing of the armor, it's like Tony Stark loses the company, just starts another one. either gives it away or lets it go, or it's taken.
Hostile takeover. Yeah.
Something else, and
somebody else buys it out from under him.
It used to be more of a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a long plot thread too, because Justin Hammer acquired Stain after Stain killed himself in Iron Man 200.
200, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
80 some odd issues ago, yeah. I remember being a little bit disappointed by the climax of this one. Because, I get it that you want to showcase how badass this new armor is. But it seemed like he just kind of waltzed through everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And if Justin Hammer, with his amount of resources and the amount of supervillains that he has on tap at any given moment, knowing that Iron Man is on his way and has a serious grievance with him, I would have thought that he would have prepared more than just some hired guys from the Hand and Hydra.
Yeah, because wasn't he financing supervillains?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always had like
the Beetle, I think, at one point.
Beetle and Blizzard and
the Rhino at one point.
Rhino. Yeah, there was always like 3 or 4 villains that he usually had in his back pocket at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that there were no villains in this to show up to.
It
was weird.
This could have used another issue, and again, put more of a threat in there. I wonder if they had to get to Tony Stark's death at a certain point. And
that's what I figured. Yeah, it was
and 2, maybe they wanted to give Tony like a definitive win before his death.
That makes sense too. More of a vindication of.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, but it just seemed like it was so easy. Like there was absolutely no challenge whatsoever. Even these gigantic modified mandroids.
Oh yeah, Tony literally just he rips into him after he shoots him with a rocket shoulder-mounted rocket launcher.
Yeah, he did everything short of just kind of casually pushing them over and walking by them like they were nothing.
But I do like that page where he's like just like ripping open the door. And
the debris is falling on it. It's so good. Yeah, the artwork in all of these issues is top tier stuff.
But yeah, just going through all the cannon fodder, and then he's just walking slowly after Hammer.
Yeah,
and then he runs.
Yeah, he's not in any hurry because he knows this man is not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, he runs.
Especially with the Masters of Silence out there.
And I was like, I guess he must have said, "Oh yeah, if you give Tony Stark any trouble, you're going to answer the Masters of Silence." I'm assuming too. It's like. One, Tony thinks he might not recover eventually, so he's gonna ask the Masters. But also too, it's like, Iron Man's not gonna kill you, Justin Hammer, but I wouldn't be so sure about the Masters of Silence.
Yeah, they're not bound by such scruples. Yeah.
So they wrap that up, and then the Masters kind of disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they give you that big next issue box. It's like the death of Tony Stark.
Yes. Yeah. Some big things happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think? The next we'll get to it, but all right. Anything else on this one?
No. Yeah. That was my only disappointment with this, was just how quickly it was resolved. But yeah, I felt like this could have used one more issue and. Yeah, a little bit more of a challenge for this new armor. But I get, too, that they also wanted to illustrate just how powerful it was. That really nothing could stand up to him.
And I wonder, too, if like we're like scheduling, because it's like maybe Len Kaminsky's like kind of like scheduling out everything up to 300. So it's like, okay, I have the death of Tony Stark here, And again, eventually we're gonna spin out a War Machine series for Rhodey too. So it's like, okay, we have to hit this at a certain point so he can get this book can launch at a certain point. Yeah.
Exactly.
The business of comics.
Yeah, and then they had the Avengers stuff to consider as well.
Oh,
how
yeah,
they
yeah.
tied into all that.
Well,
And
yeah, because Rhodey shows up for a while on West Coast. It's so funny. Like Rhodey's there in that original miniseries, West Coast Avengers, and then he's there for like
yeah,
the last couple issues of West Coast Avengers.
towards the very end of the series. Yeah, yeah,
He basically like helped open the franchise and close it down.
yeah, yeah.
All right, we get to the last one.
Yes, the death of one of the deaths of Tony Stark.
Yeah. All right, Iron Man 284, September 1992, Legacy of Iron. Yeah, Kaminsky's writing again. Kevin Hopgood, penciler, inker, Andrew Peploy. Mike Rockwitz, colorist again. Chris Iliopoulos, letterer. Nelson Nontov, editor again. All right. Screen. All right. Boy, just the list of characters they like show, even if it's just like a in his dream or just like a one little panel appearance. There's a ton of wait a minute. Oh, is this one gonna have a small synopsis? All right. Yes, after the apparent death of Tony Stark, James Rhodes becomes War Machine for the first time. There you go. There's a synopsis.
That's it. Yeah.
I swear I saw a bigger one. All right. Any notes? Oh, yes. In this issue, Tony Stark appears only in his dead cryogenic state. So,
Yeah.
Yes, in this issue, Anthony Stark is presumed dead. Jim Rhodes becomes CEO of Stark Enterprises. He then promptly fires Vice President and romantic interest Marcy Pearson.
Yes.
Rhodes also becomes a new Iron Man by donning the War Machine armor. All right, let's go through that. So yeah, it tells you the death of Tony Stark, and then get hit. Looks like his dead body on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 284 opens with the news report. Yeah, Tony Stark's dead.
Yeah. And Jim does not take it well.
No, man, he takes out his frustration on that very 90s TV.
Yeah.
The speakers that build on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably Stark made that. They've probably got about a dozen of those in the basement.
And that's it. That's either a huge cable box or looks like a VCR under the TV there.
Yes. I bet that's a VCR or a laser disc player.
Oh,
yeah. 92. It was probably a laser disc player. He runs to the hospital.
Well, we kind of get a flashback. Yeah, it's like it looks like they're trying to keep Tony alive, but then he flatlines, and then one of the doctors is about to give him norepinephrine, and they're like, "No, do not resuscitate orders. Remember." Then they call Abe Zimmer. So they collect the body. And this doctor comes out. How's he doing? I'm sorry, he's dead, Jim. That's not funny.
I love that. Yeah. That made me laugh so hard the first time I read that. He's dead, Jim.
And Rhodey's like, I have to go tell the world. So then we see him telling the media, and
all the flags are at half staff.
Oh yeah, the Avengers lowering the flag.
Dr. Doom giving him a toast over in Latveria.
Yes. I love how we get the East Coast Avengers lowering the flag, and then the West Coast Avengers watching the news. Oh, and then Happy and Pepper.
Happy and Pepper and Nick Fury.
Even Kathy Dare. Oh,
Kathy Dare. Yep. And Spymaster.
Oh, those two are going to show up here soon.
Yeah.
Then Felix Alvarez shows up the roadie and says, "Here, Tony wanted you to have this." And when he died, and I guess it's here, take this key card. Yes, play this CD-ROM disc. It is
CD-ROM.
It's some kind of hologram. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
state of the art.
Basically, for our first, I think this might be our first VR Tony Stark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of them probably. Yeah.
Yep. Because the message, "I'm dead, Jim."
Dead, Jim, and here's a suit of armor.
Yes. I
Have fun with that.
hope you understand why I feel I must. Jim, someone has to carry on for me. The world needs Iron Man. So again, I mean, this is what's pissing Jim off. But when Tony comes back, it's like, yeah, you left me this message. You made it seem so final.
Yeah.
If you figured you
Yeah.
were going to be back in a couple weeks or months, why did you make me put on this armor that I've basically been traumatized,
Yes.
for a while now.
But he could have said in the holographic message, listen, I'm not really dead. Like, I want you to be the one person who knows
That's the perfect
that
moment. Yeah.
I've faked my death, and I would like for you to continue on as Iron Man. I'm asking you to do this. But he could have also put a caveat in there and said, if it's too traumatic for you to do it, because I understand what you went through the last time you wore this armor.
Yeah.
And I understand that you may not want to do it again. So I'm going to give you the option to say yes or no. You can do it, or you can find somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And again, I mean, he kind of even says here, if you don't want to take the armor, I understand, but stay as head of Stark and stuff, because I want
right
conscience there and stuff. But yeah, like you said, this is the perfect moment where it's like, okay, you gave your address to the media, everyone saw you mourning, okay, but now we're in my office. I know it's not bugged, so yeah, here's the whole plan.
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, and you're the one person that knows the truth.
Yeah,
and Rhodey would have been pissed still, but a lot less so, and he would have kept most of his respect for Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I guess other people got those messages, yeah, because Marcy Pearson is
Marcy.
Marcy's
not pleased either.
Oh, she was in line for that bit for his job, for that CEO job before Tony promoted Rhodey. So yeah, he's not happy.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I was the next in line for CEO before this stupid VP of Ops job.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, tell the board that you're not qualified to take over the company. He's like, it's not that simple. And he's like, Tony wanted, and she's like, Tony was mentally incompetent when he made that tape. Otherwise, that's the only way he'd leave a multinational corporation to a helicopter. Oh, thanks, girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's like,
just a helicopter pilot, huh? Yeah.
He's like, you really don't care he's dead. You just want this job. But he said, yeah, he's my friend. I can't ignore his dying wish. And she goes, bottom line, you take this job, we're through. Pick me or Stark Enterprises.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep on it.
Yeah, I'll sleep on it.
Like, you're going to do it alone.
That's a hell of an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
And then that night, he has this nightmare about all of Iron Man's enemies, including Fin Fang Foom attack.
Fin Fang Foom, Mandarin.
Yes.
Titanium Man, Crimson Dynamo is in there.
Firepower,
and then like the classic lineup: Blacklash, Boomerang, Beetle, Spy Master, Blizzard, Constrictor. It's fantastic.
With Doom and Justin Hammer looming overhead.
Looming overhead. It's great. Yeah, Kevin Hobgood is wonderful. I love his artwork.
Justin Hammer literally goes, "Mwahaha." Yeah, and then this dream, everyone's running that armor. Like, Iron Man, save us! And meanwhile, it's empty.
It's empty. Yeah, there's no one in there.
Oh my
Oh
god!
no!
But I love this part. It looks like he wakes up, but then he like kind of stumbles into the living room, and there's you see zombie Tony Stark on the TV.
Yes. Yeah.
How could you let them do it? How you could?
It was like a horror movie with a fake out ending.
The red eyes, yeah.
Yeah, love it.
So then he really wakes up and goes.
He really wakes up.
And goes, okay, I get the point.
I get it. Yeah.
That's when he goes back to Tony's office and puts on that armor for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Tony Stark may be dead, but Iron Man lives again.
Iron Man lives again.
In that moonlight.
Yeah, love that.
And then once he straps on that armor, what's the first thing he does? Calls his girlfriend in the middle of the night. I love this. He goes, Marcy, it's Jim. I made up my mind. She goes, and he goes, you're fired. And that has to be the best breakup of all time. You're like, yeah. Me or the company. Hey, well, let me tell you this, you're fired. Click.
Clean out your desk. Oh, I love it.
Oh, he wakes her out of a deep sleep too and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Guess what, bitch? You fine.
2 in the morning or something.
Ah, the ultimate petty move, and I approve.
I love it.
Just sitting there.
It does my heart proud.
Sitting there at the desk in that armor, just with the helmet off.
Yeah. Well, if she hadn't talked so much trash to him before,
Yeah,
that, saying,
no.
you're just a pilot, and pick me, or
No, if she had been if she had been like supportive and maybe showed some remorse for Tony's death, he might have been like, you know what? Why don't you stay and help me run this company?
Yeah, I need help to run this company. You know how to run this company. Help me do it. Yeah, but no, she was.
Yeah,
she definitely got what she deserved at the end of that. Yeah,
she could have offered. She could have offered that. She was like, "No, I want that CEO job." Well,
yeah,
good job. And then the issue ends with it looks like Tony hallucinating like his parents and some of the people who have died over the years, and then kind of stops. And yes, we see him frozen.
Yeah. He's got the Walt Disney treatment now.
So these doctors and technicians kind of know he's alive. So
yeah, I know, right? He can trust them with the secret, but not Jim, his best friend and confidant. It's crazy.
I guess because he had no choice, but yeah, that's the last page. We have achieved successful cryonic suspension. So for an issue, I mean, we really didn't get any action in this issue, but again, it's still entertaining.
It was still entertaining. It was still excellent artwork throughout. All of it was great. We got some resolution to a lot of story stuff that had been building for a while, because the thing with Marcy had been building for a few issues, if I remember.
Yeah, there was always tension between the Jim and Marcy for a while.
Yeah. And it was nice to see Jim put on the armor again, because it had been years since that issue that I mentioned. I think that was like 88 as well, 88 or 89 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was back during the Silver Centurion, so it might have been even 87 or 86. So it had been a long time since Jim had put on the armor, and I was happy to see that again.
Oh, yeah.
I just wish he hadn't been deceived into doing it by Tony.
Exactly.
Yeah, that still rubs me. I don't understand it.
Again, he's just manipulative, and he always thinks he has, Tony Stark thinks he's the only guy in the room capable of doing stuff. Yeah.
The biggest ego in the room is always Tony Stark's. That's definitely true. Yeah. And also it created some good drama, because I mean, this feud between Jim and Tony lasted for a while after.
I think until the next Mandarin crossover.
And even maybe after that too. Yeah. Maybe up until the point where he turned into a kid again. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to because during the crappening, which we covered, Rhodey still wasn't feeling the best about Tony, so probably pretty much up to his death. He probably.
Yeah, because I feel like they had gotten into another slugfest, another fight, just before the crappening happened, or maybe it was between that Mandarin story and the crappening. And I remember the cover of them duking it out in midair or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, again, I think they needed story points too to say, okay, this is why Rhodey's not with Tony anymore, and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so yes, Justin, and another great pick for
thank you.
my month here. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, and I knew that you appreciated this era of Iron Man as well, very much so. I'm glad that we share another great Marvel love of that.
Heck yeah. All right. But yeah, I love all this Len Kaminsky. How this probably this whole decade of Iron Man.
Yeah, this would make a good epic collection if they collected this whole Len Kaminsky run. If that fit into one volume, it would be great. Yeah.
I mean, I guess our Armor Wars is still happening. I'm sure they're going to start coming out with tons of like Armor Wars 2 collections and stuff. That stuff's probably all coming.
Armor Wars 3. This time it's personal.
Oh yeah, that's coming. What's that show? Is that a movie now? I forget. They keep changing.
I don't know. Do they even have a date for that?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that in a while.
Oh, me either.
Let me see. Armor Wars. Yeah, because we're gonna have to do Armor Wars 1 and 2 in that comes.
Yeah,
if and when that
definitely.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Right now it's saying sometime in 2026.
No kidding. 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Guess that writer strike maybe really hurt that.
Wow.
Yeah, looks
That's
like it might
really surprising.
Looks like it might just be a movie now. Yeah.
Hmm.
The film. Okay. So yeah. So mark the schedule for 2026. Armor Wars and Armor Wars.
Well, Jim Rhodes deserves his own movie. Damn
Yes.
it. And
Yeah.
John Cheadle would do an amazing job as a lead in a movie like that. So I want to see that happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think it would be the ultimate Easter egg if they're going to recast Kang, make it Terrence Howard.
Remember me?
be like, no, think about that. Be like, Kang's been there since day one of the MCU, but it's like, in that first movie, Tony was seeing Don Cheadle, but we actually saw through the illusion, and we saw it was Kang. Yeah,
it was him the whole time.
Yes,
planting the seeds from day one.
Yes,
the first Iron Man.
Oh, that'd be badass.
No, I still want it to be Coleman Domingo.
Oh, yeah, he is good.
Yeah. He would be just amazing. Transcendental. It would be magnificent.
I don't know if we're even getting it's either I think they were saying it's either going to be called Coleman Domingo or we're going to just switch tracks and go straight to Doom. I don't know.
No, I disagree. I want Doom in the Fantastic Four movie that they're already working on. And they need to stop crossing their peanut butter and their chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, why is the leader the villain in the Captain America movie? Come on now.
I know. That's so weird. It's like, what? The Hulk's never going to fight the leader? That is so weird.
Well, apparently the Hulk can't support his own movie, according to some people within the MCU.
I was going to say, does Universal still have any kind of rights to the Hulks? I think for a while it was like, I don't know if Disney could do a Hulk solo, but they could put him in like other people's stuff.
Is that what it is?
I know for a while. I don't know if that's still the case, but yeah, I mean, again, all those jumping through hoops and stuff. Just
no. The inference that I understood was that they didn't believe that a Hulk movie would be a big enough draw now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, which I completely disagree with.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you can have some one hero in there or something. I mean, look at how hot most of those Captain America. Captain America 2 had Black Widow in it. Captain America 3 had everybody in it. Pretty much.
Yeah. They're basically all ensemble movies anyway. What difference does it make?
I mean, Civil War is basically Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, that was basically Avengers. Yeah. I know, it's silly.
All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I think we covered this spectacular little era of Iron Man pretty well. And we'll have to revisit this. We'll have to pick up where we left off here and come back to this soon.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to cover it's like 5 or 6 issues where Rhodey is, like the lead of this book. And then, that stuff when Tony comes back. We're going to have to ride this to 300.
Yeah, definitely. I would love that.
Maybe do a month. Oh, yeah. Ultimo.
Yes. Yeah. 300 is great, too.
That's
another one I love. And I love the armor that he gets in 300. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I love the end of that issue where Rhodey's like, that ain't no robot suit. I can tell that smug stance anywhere. That's Stark.
Yeah. I think he punches him too at the end of that too, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh, it's great.
All right. But next month, kids, yes, we're going to go along with Ultimate Spider Cast and We Are the Night, the Batman podcast. Yes, we're going to have a more feline
theme.
Yes, we'll be doing Black Cat and Catwoman on the other shows respectively. But here, we're going to give you some Tigra and some Hellcat.
That's right. A tale of two kitties.
Oh, nice. Yes, Hero Marvel Tales. All right. So, yes, next episode, we're going to do The Cat, number 1 through 4. So, yes, it'll be Greer Nelson. Yes, in that original Hellcat suit before she becomes Tigra.
Yeah.
But when does she become Tigra? We'll stay tuned for 2 weeks when we cover Giant-Sized Creatures number 1 and Monsters Unleashed number 10.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that.
Yes. And then we're going to get to Patsy Walker when she gets that suit. Avengers 144 and 147, 148. And then I believe we get both of them in West Coast Avengers 14 through 16. So
yes, which I believe one of those issues is titled "A Tale of Two Kitties."
I think so.
I love it.
And for you X-Men Classics fans, never fear, because since we're getting a 5th week next month. Yes,
right.
End of May with an Executioner episode.
Yes, who we may have seen in a recent episode of X-Men 97.
Yeah, that's right.
And believe it or not, we didn't plan that.
Nope. So if you want to know all about that gentleman, yes, come back for the end of May when we cover Uncanny X-Men Annual 17, Uncanny X-Men 310, and X-Man number 11. Yeah, we're gonna get back to Nate Gray.
Going back to X-Men in the early stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be 3 weeks in a row for X-Men, because after that episode, we're getting the 2-part Extinction Agenda.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
good stuff. Good stuff on the way.
All right, kids. So yes. So send us all of your thoughts on those. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, social media, episodes, merchandise. Get your new merchandise with the new logos right here.
That's right. Yeah, he's got it on now. The new logos look fantastic.
Thank you. So yes, get your new merch. You can still get old merch on there. Again, you can rain random money on us through the Cash App link, which Lilith Hellfire demands you do.
Make it rain.
And of course, the Patreon.
Yes. Join me in the Patreon elite.
Yes. Yes. Join Justin and Russell and Moz and Batman's #1 fan all in the Patreon. Again, I don't know if we picked an April episode yet, but again, it's uncensored Lilith Hellfire. That's all you need to know.
Yes, that's all you need to know. And that's enough of a selling point.
And she's not drinking this year, so she's going to be extra angsty. Oh my God. We did 2 this morning. The second episode we jumped on and she's like, let's hurry up. She's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, oh shit, she's getting angry. I'm like, so am I. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh man.
Nothing. I mean, I'm not giving her any excuse.
There's nothing to get wet about anyway.
All right. So find everything all in one place. That's why couldn't you be here so I could do that to your face? All right, tubespace.ao/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.ao/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever. I'm gonna eat this up with a fork and spoon.
Again, kids, I mean, don't think I'm talking behind Lil's back. I mean, we talk like this to each other's faces. So.
Sometimes when they're in the same room together too.
Oh yeah, but I'm not scared. Yeah. All right, so Mr. Justin the Owl, you can catch him here every week on Marvel Tales or X-Men Classics. I can also catch him once a month with me and Russell on Energon Universe, where we're talking all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content from Image. And of course, you can catch him at the end of every month. And a few bonus episodes in May on the Night.
The Batman Podcast.
Yes.
That's right. I will be joining you and Lilith to talk some Catwoman.
Yes, the 90s Catwoman. I know. I told her we were talking about that this morning. She was like, who does he think he is? Me? I'm like, Batman's in a row. And then I said, I was like, oh yeah, at the end of that, at the end of every month, yeah, you're on the Azrael episode. She goes, what happened to Russell? I said, I think we broke him with that,
the monkey fluids episode, the monkey fluids issues, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so yes, he's all over Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics sidekicks. But Justin, where else can people hear you?
You can also find me and Russell over at Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, where every month we discuss the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. And we also have a Patreon, so do check that out if you're so inclined. And also we can be found every month at Predator and Prey, the Yucha podcast, where we're joined by Ray, the High Priest of Khonshu himself, and we discuss the new Predator comics coming out from Marvel every month. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends, my solo project, is still chugging right along. And by the time that this episode comes out, I'll have a 2-part retrospective out on a series from 1994 from Marvel called Black Wolf.
We're going back to the 90s here, bitch.
Seems to be a theme this episode.
Going back to the 90s.
Very 90s centric here on Marvel Tales this week.
Double biscuits for me. It's me, your old pal the owl.
I swear that has to be the intro to the Lost Library of Legends.
It's me, your old pal the owl. I love it.
No, that old pal the owl. That has to be the intro.
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you for joining us
for the last week of Phil's birthday bash.
Yes. Thank you, Justin, for picking some good stuff.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It was fun.
Yeah, next month we're talking a bunch of Tigra, Hellcat, when the month was an X-Men episode, so
all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. Lots of good
and
stuff.
A nice variety of eras.
Oh yeah, especially this summer. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up here.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to Atlantis and back this summer.
That's right. All right, kids, remember, tell your friends if you're dead or alive.